Hello, Flosstube. It's the Kitchen Stitchers.
Hi, Flosstube.
Hi, Flosstube.
We're so encouraged that you wanted us to come back, so we just had to do it again. And today is Wednesday, April 4th.
April. Lizzie Kate, we love you.
So we thought that we might start by giving you a little bit of background on us and who we are, and just so you could get to know us a little bit more. So I'm going to let the extroverts start.
So my name is Crystal. I am a mom of 5 grown children. I've been married 36 years to my husband. We have 3 boys and 2 girls. The oldest is 34 and the youngest is 26. The youngest just had my 11th grandchild this past week. Yes, she is absolutely adorable, and I'm so excited. I got to keep the other kids while she was in the hospital, and we got to spend yesterday, because our daughter that lives out of town flew in, and all of my kids, all of my grandchildren were in the same place as once, and that is like huge for us. So I am a hairstylist by trade. I love to do that, and they think I'm probably talking too much. Let's just talk, okay? As we said before, we just really enjoy each other's company. We love each other. We're like sisters, and
she has a birthday next week.
I do.
April 15th.
17th.
I'm not a very good
we're
friend.
not that close.
Sister.
Oh, yeah,
we're not
sister.
that close.
Clearly,
Lisa
I'm
just moved up into the number 2 spot.
Yes.
Dang it.
Number 1. Yeah.
So
anyway, no, she, just kidding. So
No,
anyway,
she's not. I
thank
really
you.
am in number 1 position now.
Yeah, she just moved up. So
she was almost there.
okay. So, and now who's next?
I'll go next. I am the Director of Technology for an educational agency. I spent the last 22 years in a school district as a Director of Technology, and before that I was with IBM, so my background is definitely technology.
Which is why these things are so easy for her.
I'm married to the first guy I ever dated, and it's actually our second marriage, but we've been married for 12 years. And I hope I got that number right. I'm pretty sure I did.
I think you did.
And
like she's asking me.
Yes. Well, what can I say?
12 years.
12 years.
So that is how long I've known you guys, because I met you.
Right.
when
Oh, that's
you were
right.
engaged.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Now we know.
So yeah, I met him when I was 7 and he was 9, and we were in the Scottish Bagpipe Band. And by the way, there was a Scottish stitcher who subscribed to us, and I'm very interested in her and what she's doing with Scottish stitching. And because I am a former bagpipe player and a former Highland dancer.
Competitive, like up there, competitive Highland dancer.
No, but my daughter was way better. I have 1 daughter, and my husband has a daughter and a son. And his family is in California.
My turn. I am Lisa. Hello. And by profession, I am an internal auditor, but I'm a very nice internal auditor. Prior to that, I was in the IT field, so I have that kind of tech background that Arlene has too. I am not married.
Send your subscriptions and comments. Just kidding.
I used to be married, so I do have 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and I actually got to babysit all 3 of them last weekend, also like Crystal did with hers. My daughter and her husband took a quick weekend vacation to California, so I got all 3. It was fun. I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm not native to here, so if you notice a little different speaking
Minnesota.
manner, yeah, that's me. So I've
Vikings
been
fan.
Vikings fan.
I'm native Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Native Cincinnati.
Not Cincinnati, but I am now. That's about it for me. I'm not very interesting or exciting, so
That's not true. we have to watch her live. That we live vicariously through her sometimes. She has all the adventures.
I don't know.
So anyway, instead of sitting here looking silly, we're going to move on. Okay, the next thing on our list is that we thought that we would talk about our first cross stitch. experience?
Yes. My first cross stitch experience was in 1981. I decided to, I had friends that were older than I am. They were my husband's age. He's so old. No, he's not. He's really awesome. And he was one of the guys in college with my husband, and we got to know them because I was dating John right before he graduated college. And so I decided to take on Count It Cross Stitch with a wedding sampler. To say the least, they got it a lot later than their wedding because
anniversary sampler.
It was like a half a year sampler because I started it probably about 3 months before they got married, thinking I can read this. This is no piece of cake. 6 months after they got married, they got it as a gift. I fell in love with Count It Cross Stitch at that point. And then I made some pillows for my great aunt. I made a couple of stamped Count It Cross Stitches, which actually that was quite boring. So I've never ever done another stamped stitch again. Not that you guys, if you do stamp, hey, power to you. But since then I've just been stitching, and honestly, until the last 6 or 7 years, I had never kept anything for myself. I made them for gifts for everybody else. And so just recently, in the last 6, 7 years, I've been making them for myself and making them for gifts. Especially these two.
That's the best.
Yes. So, and I'll show you as time goes on some of the things that, and we will all, because we've actually made a lot of gifts for each other as time goes on.
It's always nice to stitch for somebody who appreciates stitching.
Oh, so true. I made, she'll probably never see this Flosstube. I made an amazing birth sampler for a relative's daughter. It was her first daughter. It was absolutely adorable. I go to her house months later, and I'm getting an outfit out of the closet for her daughter, and the thing that I made was in the bottom of the closet on the floor. And I'm like, okay. So that was me.
For me, I started when I was, I don't know, how old are you when you were a brownie? 5, 6? And it was for a badge, I think, and it was on brown material, and it was a stamped cross stitch with a brownie pet pledge, and I absolutely hated it. I don't think I finished it. And then when I was in high school, I had a friend from the pipe band who was really good at sculpting things, and he had sculpted a gnome, because gnomes were big at that time. And I had seen this cross stitch chart, and I thought, well, I can do that. So I picked that up and I cross stitched it, and I got it framed and I got it to them. And then I found out that you have to think about cross stitching that they all go the same way, because I just cross stitched it however it came up, and that's when I started to learn there was actually a method to cross stitch. But like Crystal, really in the last couple of years, by being associated with like Stitch Away and Lisa and other stitchers who have done a lot of things, that's where I learned. And we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the things I've learned just this week because of all the Flosstube stuff. So your turn.
The first project I remember cross stitching, I was in the 4th grade, so this was back in the 70s, and it was on light blue fabric. It was a stamped cross stitch of a turtle, and its shell was very psychedelic, very 70s psychedelic. So I stitched it all up, and I remember my mother, when I finished it, taking a floral washcloth and sewing it around the outside of the fabric and turning it inside out and magically making a pillow. Who knew you could do that? I didn't. So that was the very first thing I remember stitching. I do have something to add because you were talking about making things as gifts. I am the absolute worst gift giver in the entire planet. So, in fact, I didn't even give them Christmas gifts this year because
she gave us her love.
I did, but
her friendship is gift enough.
But only because I don't think of what's a good gift. I can never come up. I came up with a good Christmas gift for them this week, and if it's okay, I would like to give you last year's Christmas gifts today. Is that okay?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know this.
First we have, for the lovely Arlene.
Wait a minute, it's not on the agenda.
Well,
it's on the agenda now because I want my Christmas gift.
So, thank you, Twisted Stitcher Vanna, for the...
she's the best.
Arlene.
Oh!
Who things purple. So here is for you. And who doesn't love all things purple except Crystal, who loves all things green. Anyway, hers is a little bit bigger because she works with frames and you don't.
That's all right.
So
That's
anyway,
so true.
Merry Christmas,
I
guys!
love it.
Anyway.
So exciting.
Look at this. This is actually also Pam and Steph on Just Keep Stitching
Yes.
made
They
these
inspired
also.
me. They
So,
inspired me.
and look at the pretty little inside. It's different. Oh, the green.
I think that the cool thing is she actually does sew.
Oh
and
my
not just
gosh.
I don't sew. I can stitch, but I don't sew. So this is awesome.
This is
You're
amazing.
so talented.
Thank you. That's awesome.
You flipped
Look
my
at
hair.
her.
Flipped
Uh-oh.
my hair, Crystal. You flipped my hair.
Oh gosh. Did you guys notice in the last video?
Stop it.
It's on the loop. Watch it.
Anyway.
Okay, so next
Moving
thing
on.
is we thought we'd bring up some of the projects that we put in hibernation.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, this is such a beautiful project.
It really is. I wish you'd finish it. I love it.
I will finish it. It's gonna be my keepsakes where I put in about 10 stitches. Maybe stitch away 10 stitches.
StitchCon.
StitchCon. No, I'm not gonna bring it to StitchCon. Just kidding. It's hibernation. It needs to sleep. It is actually quite beautiful. It's dimensions and it's the mason jar lineup. See this? Okay. You wouldn't think this is difficult, but
I don't know. I would think that'd be a little bit difficult.
there are so many color changes, so many color blends, so many half stitch, so many blah. I've been working on it for 3 years. Let's see. That's it. Beautiful, gorgeous, but that is all I've done in 3 years.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, it does. I love what it looks like. I am in a love-hate war of stitching it.
So I found this and I really liked it. It was this, they had all these different letters with gnomes, back to gnomes again. And I have a great nephew whose name is Max. And I wanted to make this into a pillow for him. So I thought, this is really cool. I'll make it. I don't know why. I can't stand, see how the chart is really, really colorful? You would think that would be easy. But I think what it was is she doesn't do, she lets things overlap so that the colors where the color of like the sweater would end, she doesn't do a half and so it's just kind of messy. And so I've been trying to fix it and do it my way, and I've gotten part of it, but then I just got really frustrated with it and I put it aside, so I'm gonna have to do that again. So he might be 16 by the time he gets this.
How old is he now?
He's a year old, 2 years old maybe.
It's not a horrible.
And then I
hibernation.
started, I just wanted to say, I started this one. And then I put it down pretty quickly. because-
Where did you start
There's
it?
no stitching
It's
on
all
it.
There's
right.
nothing
on
on
it.
It
there.
is. It's right here. It's just a couple of lines. And
Oh
then
my
I can't
gosh.
do this right now because I wanted to do cross stitching. It's going to be very pretty, but I don't know. It's just too many viney lines. So someday when I feel like I'm a little burned out on cross stitching, I'll go back to that.
So mine, I don't think I brought the right pet. Mine is a red Faberge Christmas ornament.
These are gorgeous.
This is
I
the,
love
this is the wrong-
these.
You know what? I do too. I absolutely love these. I think they're really beautiful, and they're almost done. Actually, they're almost a third of the way done. But you can see they've got the metallics and the different shadings of reds on the blue ribbons. And there's actually 9 that I was going to do in this set, but I hate doing them.
Why do you hate doing them?
I have to think, and really,
It's
want
so
to.
pretty.
I try. It's very pretty, but working with the metallic threads is a pain in them. They won't let me use bad words, which I love to do. But it's just hard. I brought it to Stitch Away one year, and that's when I realized that I have to concentrate, and I didn't want to concentrate. Anyway,
It
That
is
is my-
absolutely gorgeous. I love that.
thank you.
Just like I love my jars. I just wish somebody else would make it and then give it to me.
What have you been working on? Have you been
So
working
I
on
had 3 finishes this week, and I already gave away the sewing machine to get it finished. I left it at keepsakes, it was really cute because it has this charm on it for a thimble and a charm for
That's cute.
scissors. It was really cute.
It was adorable.
And I've got a box that I ordered in that hopefully she can put it on. So I'm excited about that. But then I did my StitchCon giveaway thing that I can't show. That was really fun. And then I did this little egg. When I dropped the stuff off at Keepsakes, I got the fabric. I really liked the green fabric. And it's a Cricut collection. And because everybody wants to know what the fabric is, I kept it.
Ooh,
It is
so
Belfast
smart.
28 count rosemary. So I really liked it. That was a quick stitch and that was
That's
a lot
pretty.
of fun. That was really quick. It was a lot quicker than I thought it would be.
That's awesome.
I finished nothing.
Nothing. Got nothing for you.
I was on spring break, so that helped.
I got nothing.
But you're almost finished.
I am almost
Oh,
finished.
I'll
Okay,
take that.
so we're gonna whip it. Okay,
Whip it
Um,
good.
there you go. So,
Can I
do you
slide this
remember?
off?
Yes,
Do you mind?
let's do that.
I think we can just slide it right off the end.
I will finish this week. This
There we
is my pumpkin, and if you can see, I only have this bottom that has to be done, and then all of these little green dots and filigree, they are all over, so I will be finishing. This is what I love. I just did this, and he looks like a saggy old man with a really big nose, or even a like lion with the tiny little eyes, big nose, and there's this cute little face. So, but anyway, I just thought I would leave that there so you guys could see that. But this has been so much fun. I will be finished with it next week. So, and then I have a dilemma that I want you guys to help me out with. But after we show what other people's whippets are.
Yeah, I have something I want them to help me with too. But okay, so then I got started on this.
So
If you can see
cute.
that, it's the owls. I like the colors. That's kind of fun to do, and it's been really, really fast. It would have been halfway done, except for I miscounted. I had to rip out like 4 of them.
She had a frog.
Such a bummer. And I thought I had what it was, but apparently I didn't bring that with me, so I'll have to tell you about that later. It is designed by Natalie Cichon Hardin Privé. So I don't know what else
Private
it's called.
garden.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that would be the translation.
Yay! I speak
Mine
French.
was also the Zucca, Zucca, and I love her little swirlies on all of her projects, just in case if you didn't watch last week's.
So my whips, I was working on 2 things this week. This one I actually started at Stitch Away this past year. I love it because I love coffee and I don't do anything until I drink my coffee. So it's almost finished.
Oh, that
I
looks
have-
so good.
It's amazing.
I forgot the coffee. I don't have the coffee part on this. So this looks
So
like,
we're gonna fill in.
it's gonna leave it blank. First I drink. What? Do I drink wine? Do I drink gin? What do I drink? Anyway, I have a little bit left to do up here and then a little bit here and a couple of initials here and there and a year. And then that I think will be done next week.
Mine would be first I drink tequila, then I do the things, and then frog them the next day.
So I have another whip that I was working on this week, and this one's kind of giving me. I'm at a point now where it's kind of giving me fits, and I don't know what to do. It's my first Heaven and Earth Designs. It's called Farewell to Anger, the max color version, on 25 count, and I'm doing it 1/1. This is what the finished will look like. I think it is
It's beautiful.
happy as can be. I chose this one because every time I looked at
Love
the
it.
picture, I would smile. So I knew that was the one I wanted to work on for 4.94 years. I did the math. Stephanie and Pam, I did the math. So
She's good at
4.9
math.
4.9 years to finish this. I've been working on it for almost 2 weeks. That's as far as I've gotten. And I think I might have to start over because down here, I'm seeing a little too much white coming through the stitches. So I don't know. I don't know. I keep going back and forth about trying just to cover the black with a second strand or start the whole thing over or just say screw it and continue on. But for
think you're gonna see it
4.94
from a
years, I want to love it.
this
So
didn't happen.
anyway,
Right. If you're going to put that much time into it. So, if you have any
Opinions
opinions
Not
on
taken.
that or experience, because the colors are getting great coverage for her.
It's just the blacks.
It's
and the
just
dark
the real
browns
darks.
and so, anyway,
That inspires me though, because I do a lot of these little things, and I've not really done a big thing for a while. Probably not since Black Santa.
oh, I loved
So,
him.
Yeah.
I love
So
him.
I think it's time to do another one. And so she was inspiring me with the heaven and earth. So I wanted to do something Christmas.
Did you order them?
So I've got them down at 2.
They just had a sale. You missed it.
Dang
Oh.
it. Maybe I need to wait for another sale. So the first one is this one. Can you see that?
That's
I
beautiful.
kind of like him. But the other one is this. And I kind of like that one because my dad used to always read me 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and that kind of looks like that. So I sent them both to my daughter, and she liked both of these. Those were of all the ones I picked out a bunch that she liked both of them. So I'm not really sure which one to do. So it's either this one, Santa with his bag, which is kind of fun, or the Night Before Christmas one. I don't know. I'm conflicted. The Night Before Christmas one doesn't have a lot of Christmassy colors except for the Santa. So I don't know. It does have my
Opinions?
style,
Well,
my dad.
and with Hades, the one with the Santa
In the bag.
sleigh
Oh yeah.
has a lot of background.
Yeah.
I
So
love background.
I mean,
Good
to
point.
me,
Good point.
that would be hard
That's
for
all
me
good.
to just do
Oh, well,
10
that's true.
shades
That'd be
of
easier.
blue
Although there's
for-
a lot, yeah.
2 point whatever years before I even got
4.94.
yes.
Good point.
So anyway,
But I think
if
there's
you've
a lot
had
of
any
confetti
experience
in this
with
one.
those
It's
also.
Yeah.
So my dilemma is I'm going to be finished with this this next week, and I'm going to be starting another project. Barb and Joe at our LNS. Did I say that right? Look,
Yes. We're learning all kinds of
Kinds of
abbreviations.
jargon. Okay.
we're so hip with you guys.
We are cool.
Yeah.
We need a
So
dictionary.
yeah, actually, there was one stitcher that did an alphabet abbreviations of all of them, and I'm gonna have to go back and find out who that was and try to watch that because I'm still learning. But so they are closing down the framing part, and we have to have things in by May because that's when they're last taking. So these are the ones that I am stuck on. 2 of them. One, I love the Cricut Summer because I love all the colors.
I love the summer.
I love the summer, and I am all color. I love it. And the reason why I would want to do that is I want to do all 4 seasons. So I want to have at least one of these framed so that when I have to take it in the future to a framer, I have an example of Barb and Joe's so that they can say, oh, that's kind of your style, blah, blah, blah. But here's the dilemma. I love the colors, but I want to be able to put it up this year. So do I do this and let them put it at the end of their framing so that it comes back to me in time for next summer? Or do I do the winter and then have it done so that I can get it at the end of this year?
I like summer.
I love summer too,
Winter is coming. You
I know.
said.
You can get that
so
done quickly,
winters.
and she could get it done in time for summer.
Arlene, I don't do anything quickly.
Oh, you could do this quickly.
I'm good. Well, I'm gonna have to, but
We should
ooh, a labor of love and stitch it for me. Did I hear her say? Did you
no.
hear her say stitch it for me?
No.
But I think I'm leaning toward the winter so that I can get it back and put it up this year, so I don't have to wait a whole nother year to actually have it up. And at least I know what my framing style is going to be. So I would love your opinions
Okay.
and your idea. We're supposed to be doing this in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's not going to make it, I think.
We're gonna make it.
Close,
We're gonna
close,
make
we're
it.
close.
We're going to be
got
close.
this.
Okay,
girls.
I wanted to say there are 2 things that I learned this week, and one that you learned with me, but separately.
Separately together.
I didn't learn.
One was I like to start my stitching with the loop with the stitching over 2. Now, someone out there, I think it was the Homesteaders, mentioned she didn't like to stitch with 2 threads. I love stitching with 2 threads because I can do the loop and do the loop start, but I learned that you can start that loop from the top. So you go down from the top, come back up and through the loop, tighten it up, and then go down through the same hole, and it pulls it back so you don't have to flip back
Neat.
over. So I really like that.
That's neat.
And the second we learned was the pin stitch.
Pin stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Pin stitch. What was it? The diagonal pin stitch.
Diagonal.
From Vanna.
Oh,
No?
I saw it a couple different places. I think
Yeah, I
there
did
was a
too.
girl on the Heaven and Earth
Mhm.
site on
Then
the
I-
Facebook page.
Then I
Like,
YouTubed it.
yeah,
Mhm.
Portia Painter, I
Portia.
think.
Mhm, yeah.
Ah.
Beautiful.
She plays the violin.
So anyway, you
Beautiful hands.
started. So that makes me like those individual stitches that you have to do because it's a clean start and end.
Yep.
And it would make me okay with stitching with one thread because you don't have to deal with the tail or a waist
flip
knot
it,
or
flip
flipping.
it over.
Yeah.
That got old.
So you start and you go. Well, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put in a
Look
link
at Portia's
for
video.
YouTube. Yeah, Portia or YouTube, the pin stitch. You can start and end with the pin stitch, and then it's all nice and neat, and you don't have to worry about any of those threads falling apart.
I love that.
So that was awesome.
That was like eye-opening to me. It's like, and I love when I have those moments.
I do
You
too,
guys
I do
laugh
too.
at me when I have
No,
those moments, but
I'm
we'll
with
talk
you.
about those another
I'm
time.
not with that.
Yeah. So we also need to give out a little love
Yes.
because we
Oh,
feel so
you guys.
loved. Oh my
I
gosh.
love you.
So we have a thank you for Pam and Steph.
Pam and Steph, just keep
Yes.
stitching. Love you
Thank
guys.
you. Thank
Oh,
you.
they were so
Shout
sweet.
out. They were very sweet.
Because they know us personally also.
Yeah.
And so they were able to just share their love with us and mention us. That was so
And
sweet.
I was watching, which I adore this girl. Julie is the Kansas City girl
in
in
a Colorado
world.
world.
I love your stuff. I love when you finally counted your whips. That absolutely cracked me up because
right there with you.
totally with you on that one. And you said our names. Thank you. I
that
was
was
so surprised when I was
really
watching. I was
fun.
like, picking up my phone, Crystal, Arlene, guess what? They said our names.
And then
Homestead on the home
Homesteading
front.
homesteading on the home front with little one.
In Guam.
International.
In Guam. This is
That was pretty awesome.
That was
And then
awesome.
Lisa and I were together watching Flosstube, and Bendy Stitcher were watching
Bendy Stitchy.
Bendy Stitchy. That's right. Ugh, yoga.
Love her, love
Love
her.
it. Love it. Love it.
Love the books.
So we're watching, and we're just watching you as we're stitching together, not talking to each other, watching you. And then all of a sudden, you shouted us out and gave us love too. And we were like,
So, okay, it was late when I saw their text and we were in bed.
she was already in bed. And we're texting her.
I start watching. My husband's like, "What are you watching?"
See, I can watch
But I had
all
to watch
night.
it to the
I can
end.
watch all night long
I could too. It's awesome.
because
We have no life. We love to stitch. So that's it for us. That's
Yes.
we're busy next Wednesday, so we won't be able to do another one for
This is true.
a couple weeks. But we
What are we
appreciate
doing?
everybody. Drama.
Remind. Drama.
We
for church.
appreciate everybody, and we look forward to our next one. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank you
everyone.
guys.
Bye.